everybody, and welcome to Crunch Sports. I'm Ashwin Kumar, and we're back. It's another series. We just made videos about the Australian series and stuff, and we were all very excited. But now it's time to move on from that series and another massive series. It's India versus England, and this time it's in India. So tomorrow the first test starts in Chennai, and the last time there was a test in Chennai was India versus England in 2016. So it's been 4 years since there has been a test match played in the Chidambaram Stadium. So the first two test matches in this series will be at Chennai, and the third and the fourth will be in Ahmedabad, which is Gujarat. So I've been joined again by Santosh and Rishi. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you, Ashwin?
Good.
Great. So let's get straight into it. India versus England. Rishi, let's start off with you. What are your thoughts on this series, upcoming series? Where do you think it'll go, and what do you think about the recent England performance in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, so this series is very crucial for both Indian and England team. If you consider the fact that this series is actually the qualification series for World Test Championship final, which will be played at Lords in some time later in this year. So yeah, if India wins more than two matches, then India is into the finals. But then England on the other side needs to win this series by a big margin, by a 3-0 or 3-1 margin, or a 4-0 margin. So yeah, it is a very crucial one, and I think England is in a great touch as well, because if we see the past, they have beaten Sri Lanka in their own ground by a margin of 2-0. But those matches are, we don't say that those are that important or that great wins, because India and Sri Lanka, okay, that's not a topic.
Yeah, that's another.
We don't talk about that. But yeah, so England will be in their own comfort zone and in their own confidence that we have beaten Sri Lanka, and those are similar conditions. So even they'll be in a good boost, and even Indian team who has had a historic series, they'll also be in a good confidence. So yeah, the series, I think India might just take away this from England by a 3-0 or 3-1 margin.
Right, it's exciting right now because last year almost the complete year we didn't have cricket, and then we had the IPL, and then immediately we had the Australian series, and now it's all packed now. It's the England series right now, and like you said about the World Test Championship, we'll have to win at least two Test matches to go through. And New Zealand have already reached the finals of the World Test Championship. So they have booked. We know who, if we win the series, we know who we'll be playing. So there is a team already waiting for us to play, or waiting for the other team waiting at Lords to play in the World Test Championship. So Santosh, what are your thoughts before the start of the series?
Yeah, definitely a big series. Both sides will be confident after the wins, because they won away from their homes. Irrespective of the quality of the sides, the away wins still matter. And as Rishi said, this series is important from the World Test Championship point of view also, because three teams are in contest for the one spot: India, Australia, and England. So this is very important for India and Australia if you look at it. So yeah, as you said, India has to win at least two matches to qualify for the finals at Lords. And and I think in England's bowling is probably one of the best in the world, arguably. And I would like to see how India tackle them. I think India take away the series, but it'll be a good fight. That's what I think.
Yeah, right. We went to Australia; they were the favorites, but then we went and won the series. This time, we are the favorites. I think we will get away with it, because in India, we haven't lost the last test matches in India. We haven't lost either of them, and we haven't lost the last 14 series or something like that. So we have got an exceptional record in India. And considering the team which we played in Australia, the last test of Australia, and this team which we might or will play tomorrow against England, the first test, it's almost it is completely two different teams, because we might not even see one player, or maybe we might not see the three fast bowlers who played the final test in Australia tomorrow. So, Rishi, let's start with the predicted lineup. Who do you think should play? Should Rishabh Pant play or should Saha play? Because it's in India, the wickets will spin. Considering it's in Chennai as well, we know that Chennai pitches are usually turners. So who do you think? What should India go with, five bowlers, or are they confident with four bowlers? What are your thoughts?
Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant will be the keeper. And yes, five bowlers, as you said, three spinners and two fast bowlers is what I think I'll go with. Three spinners in the sense, if you see that first spinner will be anytime Ashwin, because that is his home ground and that is his, what do you say, that it is his right hand game, or what you say. Yeah, so he will be backed by Washington Sundar. Washington Sundar will give us bowling and batting option, which we had seen before. And yes, that I think they'll just play off Kuldeep Yadav and just show some confidence and back him, because that is required. If Akshar Patel just plays off, then I think it will be very difficult for Kuldeep Yadav to make a comeback in Test cricket.
He's been out for a really long time now.
Yeah.
The IPL he hardly featured, and now he didn't play in the Australian series as well. So, what is your complete predicted lineup? Who do you think should be the openers? What should be the combination?
Yeah, so I think the batting is quite clear that we'll open with Rohit Sharma, and I'll go with Mayank Agarwal as the opener, not Shubman Gill, considering Mayank Agarwal's records in India, as Santosh mentioned quite sometime back, and then we will go with Virat Kohli, then Cheteshwar Pujara, then Ajinkya Rahane, then we'll go with Rishabh Pant, as we know he comes at number 6. Then we'll place Washington Sundar there, then Ashwin, and then Kuldeep, and Bumrah and Ishant Sharma.
So you're dropping Shubman Gill, bringing in Mayank Agarwal, no place for Hardik Pandya, and you're going with three spinners. And
unless and until Hardik Pandya is fit to bowl, I don't think he fits into the team. If he's there to bowl, then he'll be there as a third fast bowler. Then India can go with two spinners and three fast bowlers. But unless he bowls, he's, I think, out of the team, or out of at least the favor to play. If he plays tomorrow, or if he plays in the coming Test matches as a batsman, then it will be a surprise package.
I would be really interested to see if they pick Hardik Pandya, because we have Hardik Pandya in the limited overs which we played in Australia. He was on fire just as a pure complete batsman.
Yeah.
And I would want to see him play that role maybe in Test matches, because since he isn't bowling these days, his batting has gone to the next level. And I would like to see him, but like you said, it's hard to pick him right now, because considering it's in Chennai and it's in India, if it was probably overseas, we might have considered playing him, but it's in India. I think you'll have to go with two or three.
But spinners. If India goes with just four bowlers, because usually what I've seen is Virat Kohli goes with four bowlers and Ajinkya Rahane goes with five bowlers. So if at all Virat Kohli goes with four bowlers, then there's a chance that we might see Hardik Pandya at number 6, and then Rishabh Pant will be at number 7. But I don't think that will be what we'll see tomorrow. That's just a wild guess. Yeah.
Right. So Santosh, what are your combinations? 4 bowlers, 5 bowlers, openers?
Okay, I'll tell my lineup. It'll be Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill opening for me. You have to back Shubman Gill. He has the confidence, so I think he has to play the first 2 tests at least if we keep the winning streak going on. And then Pujara, and then Kohli and Rahane in the core, obviously. And then Rishabh Pant would be the keeper for me too, because we have to trust him with the turning wickets too. Once he gains the experience, he'll automatically become a better keeper. And then now the all-rounder spot, it'll either be Washington Sundar or Shardul Thakur. It depends on if you're taking an extra spinner in Kuldeep Yadav, or they're going with a bowler in Siraj. Because if you're bowling, if you're keeping Sundar, then you'll have 3 spinners, or you can have 3 pace bowlers in Shardul Thakur as well. So I would take Shardul Thakur, and then I would keep Kuldeep Yadav as extra spinner. Two spinners and three fast bowlers.
And the other two fast bowlers are Bumrah and Ishant Sharma, right?
Bumrah and Ishant Sharma, yeah.
Right. This time we've got selection headaches, which is a positive if we look at it, because against Australia in the last test we had to play whoever was available, and this time we're having to choose who to pick, and that
Right.
shows the strength of the Indian squad we've got. Because look at the players who might be sitting out. We're talking about the likes of KL Rahul, maybe Mayank Agarwal or Shubman Gill. And you've got other quick bowlers. There's no Shami in this. There's no Jadeja. They're both injured. So the strength of the Indian squad it speaks volumes, and it's going to be interesting if we go with four bowlers or five bowlers. Like Rishi, like you said, that Kohli prefers going with four bowlers and playing extra batsmen. But I think we will pick five bowlers, and I would go with the exact same team. Which no, I would at least go with a similar team to what Santosh did. I would go with Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill.
Right.
I think this series, if Shubman Gill is playing, it'll be a massive series, because in Australia we saw that he dealt with the conditions and their fast bowlers really well, and he is the future of Indian cricket. So I want to see Shubman Gill play. I'm very excited to see him. And then Pujara, of course, Virat Kohli is back. That's a massive boost. And Rahane will play at 5. I would go with Rishabh Pant as well. After what he did in the last test against Australia, I don't think we can drop him. Whether it's a spinning track or not, I don't think Rishabh Pant can be dropped. So then Rishabh Pant, I was tempted to play Hardik Pandya, but I think it would be a safer option playing, at least in the first test, playing 5 bowlers.
Yeah.
So after Rishabh Pant, I would play Washington Sundar. He is playing. It is in Chennai, so it's his hometown, and he has played a lot of his cricket at the Chidambaram at the Chepauk Stadium. So Washington Sundar. After Sundar, I would play Ravichandran Ashwin. Of course, he walks into the team. Kuldeep Yadav, I would pick 3 spinners as well. Kuldeep Yadav will be the 3rd spinner, and 2 fast bowlers will be Jasprit Bumrah, and who is fit, and Ishant Sharma is back into the squad. So he needs only 3 wickets to get into the 300 wicket club as well. So massive test matches. It's a big test as well, because like you guys said, we need to win at least 2 tests, and if England go and win that first test, then the series becomes even more interesting, because then we'll have to win two to qualify. So, right, we spoke about the World Test Championship. What do you think? Does England have chance? Joe Root had an exceptional series against Sri Lanka. How do you think we should, like, in Australia, Steve Smith was their main batsman, but he didn't fire. India definitely had done their homework, and we went and dominated Steve Smith. Except that 100 which he scored, I think we had him very much under control. So what do you think should be the way to go against Joe Root?
Go ahead, Santosh. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think against Root, it'll definitely be spin as one of the tactics. Probably similar to what we saw in Australia to Smith. Ashwin bowling the middle stump line and then spinning it into him. So with a leg slip in place, of course. And so I think that would be the main strategy. And or the short ball. I'm not sure if that's his weakness, but or the short ball or spin. And but if any team has to have a good chance of beating India in India, I think it's right now it's England for sure, because the batting looks solid and the bowling also looks solid. They have a quality all-rounder in Ben Stokes and Moeen Ali if they want to, an extra spin option. So I think it'll be a good contest to see.
I think it'll be interesting. Yeah, I think it'll be very interesting to watch how Joe Root plays Kuldeep Yadav. Because Kuldeep Yadav turns the ball, both the ways. He's a magician, as we have seen him before. He has, completely, he has found out weaknesses in Butler, then Johnny Bairstow when they had played in England. So playing in India would be even more difficult for him. So I think that Joe Root might have some problem playing the spin, as Santosh said. Maybe it will be Ashwin, or it will be Kuldeep Yadav who will who will trouble Joe Root. Maybe Washington Sundar also, if he plays, then he also might trouble Joe Root, as we had seen him troubling Labushan and taking his wickets. Yeah,
Right. We spoke about England, but their batting, to be honest, they are inexperienced playing in the subcontinent. They played in
Right.
Sri Lanka, but playing against India is on a complete different level. Will that's the exciting factor for England, because we don't really know how they'll come and show up. Maybe they come and dominate. So we'll have to be careful as well. They've got a decent team. They've got a really good bowling lineup as well. Jofra Archer. There is James Anderson. There will be that one-on-one battles. James Anderson versus Virat Kohli.
Yeah.
You'll have maybe
But
Stuart
who do you
Broad
think?
is there.
Yeah, who do you think will play off? Like, what will their bowling combination be? Will it be 3 fast bowlers or 2 fast bowlers?
I think they'll go with 3 fast bowlers. I think
3. Yeah, same. Yeah.
Because they have Stuart Broad, they have James Anderson,
Archer.
and they have Archer.
Archer. Yeah.
I think they'll go with all 3, because they are their main bowlers. You look at James Anderson; he is a legend of.
But then,
fast bowling.
do you think that they'll play Ben Stokes as a third fast bowler, or will that be an option?
I think
Whether
he'll
to make
be.
him well?
I think he'll play like an all rounder. I think they will play 3 fast bowlers and 2 spinners, and then they'll have an option of Ben Stokes, is what I think. But talking about fast bowlers, I think they will go with Stuart Broad, James Anderson, and Jofra
Yeah.
Archer. It will be interesting to see what
They would want to play a full strength side, right? Because they
Yeah.
have to, even they are under pressure. They have to win.
They have to
this
get
match,
results.
and right,
Yeah. If they win the first, there's no better way to put pressure. So
right.
I think
Right.
they'll
So
go
the
with
first,
side.
there is pressure on both the teams to win that first test. To at least to get the first win. Maybe the first test is a draw, but the first test or the first win for either of the teams might define if they play in the World Test Championship.
Yeah.
And it will be interesting. Josh Butler is available only for the first test. So after that, Butler goes away. So Adit says he won't make a problem unless he makes a silly mistake.
He's talking about Joe Root.
Who?
Yeah,
He's
I
talking
think.
about Joe Root. Yeah.
But Joe Root
He
is an
won't have a problem
exceptional
unless-
player of
Yeah.
spin. He
Right,
keeps sweeping. He can sweep all day. So we'll have to be very careful with, because
But then
once
Ashwin is also that much experienced, right? He
Yeah,
has so
he
many.
knows how to bowl. To
Yeah, he has played in India for longer than ever. Like, I think he's probably the most experienced bowler in the team, even fast bowlers and even the spinners.
I think it's balanced, because Ashwin doesn't
Right.
really have an exceptional record against England. If you see, his average also goes up. So he hasn't got a good record against England. But having said that, he had a fantastic series in Australia, and he is a force to reckon with when we are playing
Right.
test matches in India, and especially when it's in Chennai. So there are battles. There are these key battles. How will Shubman Gill play? It'll be Virat Kohli versus James Anderson. Rohit Sharma, of course, is there. We've got to get, if Joe Root goes on to score a big score in the first test, then it's going to be very difficult for India, because
Yeah.
if we get settled into the series, then
yeah, that's true.
it will be interesting. But having said that, Virat Kohli is back as well. He hasn't scored he didn't score a century last year in the whole calendar year, and this year, Joe Root, Steve Smith, and Kane Williamson have scored a century in the first test of this year. So it is Virat Kohli's first test in this series. Hopefully, we get to see a masterclass from the king. The Sri Lanka series helped. Yeah, that definitely would have helped.
I think
England,
there's only one thing which goes by India's ways, that they are playing in India. The test series is going to happen in India. That's the only thing which comes as an advantage to the Indian side. But apart from that, everything is balanced.
Right. So,
balanced,
what are your predictions? It starts tomorrow at I think it starts at 9:30 a.m.
9:30. Yeah.
Right.
9:30.
So first test from Chennai. So where do you think, or what do you think will be the result? Santosh, what are your predictions?
I go with India, because as she said, it's in India and we have the advantage for sure. And if we use it correctly, I think India, there's no stopping India from winning the game.
Rishi, where do you see?
I'll go with India. I think the game will get over in 3 or 4 days. It
Oh,
won't go till fifth day. Yeah. Who?
okay.
Yeah, I think so. Because
Chance.
India, if India wins the toss, no, India has to bat first, and then they have to post a big total, which they can. They have such a big and deep batting lineup. So
Yeah.
yeah, they'll post a big total, and then they can try to get their 20 wickets, get England's 20 wickets. So yeah.
So who do you think from you're telling India will win? So who do you think? Will
Yeah.
it be the batsmen who win the game, or do you think it'll be the spinners, or where do you think India will go and have the edge to go and win the test match?
The edge has to be the spinners. We have more experience, and it's our conditions after all. So, and Ashwin's hometown, Chennai.
Yes.
So
Ashwin.
Chennai boy, he comes back, and this record there is exceptional. In the first test he played, that he got 12 wickets against Australia, and so yeah, we have to back India after Ashwin. It's his home.
I think Kohli and Ashwin will play big roles. That's it.
So Virat, yeah, my prediction. Well, I almost got all the predictions wrong in the Australian series, so I don't want to jinx anything, but
You
I
predict
think
England win.
no, I predict India to win. I'm excited to see Virat Kohli because I'm a huge fan of Virat Kohli.
Right.
Let me say that. And after all, we didn't see a huge innings from him last year, and he was on a break after the first test, after that horrible first test in Australia. And he will definitely be pumped up, and I think that will be an extra edge for India, be it with his batting or on that field as well. He'll get that positivity and that intensity as well. So I think India will go on to win this test match. Adit Narayana says England is winning the first game.
Yeah.
So we will see this before we end the show. What do you think will be the result of the entire test, and who do you think will be the key man for England and for India? One player. Who do you think will be the key man for both the teams?
Yeah, for India, as I already told, it'll be Ashwin. It has to be Ashwin. And if he performs really well and if he gets his rhythm going, I think India will be on the way to win this match. And for England, I don't know. I think it'll be Archer because we haven't really faced him in red ball cricket that much. We haven't been, you haven't gotten used to him in red ball cricket. So I think if India can play him well, then I think India will win it. But if we allow him to bowl his lengths, then I think he'll be a force to reckon with.
Rishi, what are your
So
thoughts?
I'll name Ben Stokes from England. Yeah, and Ashwin from India.
Right. I would go with
Yours?
I'm confused. I would go with Ashwin or Pujara, to be honest, because I think Pujara will be very important. If Archer is on fire, then Pujara needs to be the wall, which we all know he can be as well. So I'm leaning towards Ashwin because the first two test matches are in Chennai. The wickets will turn. Maybe it won't turn in the first 2 days because considering you are playing two test matches there, so it might be a little green surface, but there won't be any moisture because Chennai is always hot. So the spin will play a part, and we have got more experienced spinners. Yes, Ashwin is there, and we have got Sundar or maybe Kuldeep Yadav, but Ashwin will be a force to reckon with. So I would go with Ravichandran Ashwin to be our key man in this test series. And from England, I think it would be Joe Root because, like you said, Archer will be a threat for sure. We'll have to counter him. But having said that, I think Archer will be their biggest threat in the bowling lineup. I think he'll be more of a threat than James Anderson and Stuart Broad. But I think we'll need to restrict Joe Root from England. If we can get him out cheaply, then I think the chances of India winning the Test series increases a lot. So I would go with Ravichandran Ashwin and Joe Root from England. So right, we all three are going with an Indian win in the first test of the England India versus England Test series. If Somal was there, I wouldn't be surprised if he would have gone with England. That's for the Australian series. So right, that's about it. Thanks for watching, and make sure you guys smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel and join the community. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, which is important, and ring that bell icon so that you get the channel notifications. And you can also follow us on Instagram. You'll get the links down in the description box below. So thanks for watching, and thanks Rishi and Santosh for coming on. And hopefully India go and win that first test. We'll meet you all after the first test in the first test match reaction. So thanks for watching.